Hey there, Seeker. Welcome back. In today's video, I want to dive into the rise of narcissism in the social media era and how it's affecting our society. A topic that has been bothering me for a while now. You've probably noticed how many influencers and public figures today exhibit narcissistic traits. The constant need for attention, the carefully curated selfies, the obsession with likes and followers. It's easy to write them off as just arrogant. But psychologists argue that narcissism is actually on the rise, enabled by social media platforms like Instagram that allow us to construct idealized versions of ourselves and crave external validation. The problem is, this focus on inflated egos is starting to undermine human connection. We are increasingly living in bubbles, more concerned with self-image than relating to each other. Everything becomes a performance for applause rather than authentic interaction. Being real doesn't get you followers. Being a caricature of yourself does. So in this video, I will unpack the roots of narcissism, how social media identifies it, and the detrimental impact it could be having on society. Questions we will explore include: how is narcissism rewiring our self-worth and relationships? Are platforms like Instagram making us more narcissistic? What happens to empathy and compassion when image is everything? Can narcissism actually tear at the social fabric if left unchecked? Understanding this phenomenon is important as we move forward in an increasingly superficial, branding-obsessed culture. There are deep philosophical issues to dive into here around the balance between individualism and community. So get ready for a thoughtful discussion. Let's get into. The idea of narcissism comes from an ancient Greek myth about a dude named Narcissus, who was so obsessed with himself that he fell in love with his own reflection in a pool of water. Like he couldn't stop staring at himself and eventually wasted away because nothing mattered more than his own image. So narcissism basically means being so into yourself that you can't see anything else. Just like Narcissus couldn't stop gazing at his own reflection. It's having an overinflated ego and sense of self-importance, needing constant praise and attention, not caring about others, because you are number one in your own mind. The psychologist Freud introduced the concept over 100 years ago. But today, social media has taken narcissism to a whole new level. We've all got the pooled water of Instagram, Facebook, etc. to gaze at reflections of ourselves all day long. Everyone wants to be Instagram famous now. They carefully pick the best selfies, Photoshop themselves, and crave admiration from followers. Influencers get paid just for being walking advertisements for narcissism. It's me taken to the max. We are losing the ability to connect beyond superficial likes and shares. We compare our unfiltered lives to the fake perfect versions other people project. No wonder anxiety and depression are so common. All we focus on is external validation through our appearances and popularity. But real self-worth doesn't come from obsession over selfies, followers counts. It comes from within, from self-knowledge, compassion, and genuine relationships. We need a culture that values those things more than inflated egos and being worshipped for our looks. Otherwise, we risk becoming a world of self-obsessed narcissuses, unable to tear our eyes away from our own reflections, even if it destroys us. We have to learn how to value inner growth over outward projection if we want to boost our collective self-worth. The solutions exist if we dare to look off. This narcissism thing we see everywhere now really makes you think about what it is doing to society on a deeper level. All the focus on me is really undermining our ability to connect in meaningful ways. Online, it is all about getting attention and validation for yourself, your own profile, pics, hot takes. No one reads or cares about anyone else's stuff except to compare themselves. We are just consumers, gobbling up content quickly and moving to the next self-promoting post. That need for personal validation carries over offline too. At work, it's all about climbing the ladder for yourself, getting ahead of co-workers, taking credit for everything. Narcissistic bosses are just using employees as pawns for their own goals. They don't actually care about nurturing talent or making their team better overall. This hyper-focus on our own success and validation breeds a culture of competition. We are constantly measuring ourselves against unrealistic standards set by photoshopped models and influencers, never feeling good enough. Everyone is out for themselves in this game, trying to one-up each other. It's no wonder anxiety and depression are so widespread when nothing is ever enough. When your value is based on likes and follows, real connection and community die out because we are all performing, putting on a show to impress each other instead of supporting each other's growth. If you keep going this way, we will be left with a hollow society of individuals craving shallow validation. Our mental health and relationships will suffer. We have to regain perspective and start valuing inner growth and authentic connections again. A strong society nurtures all individuals in it, not just the winning elite. We thrive together, not on our own. And those are just some of the ways that narcissism seems to be infecting society in the social media age. This obsession with inflated egos and self-image is really starting to erode human connections and empathy. While social platforms offer us new ways to connect, they also enable self-obsession. The endless mirrors of Instagram and TikTok lead us to gaze only at our own reflections. We meticulously shape our digital personas for virtual applause. But as we do, are we sacrificing authenticity? Are we becoming a hollow culture of individuals performing for each other's approval instead of coming together to support each other's growth? In many ways, technology seems to be dividing rather than uniting us. It traps us in personalized bubbles rather than helping us relate to different perspectives. It leads us to compare ourselves to unrealistic standards, fueling dissatisfaction. So here's a controversial question to leave you with. Could today's me-first culture and obsession with narcissistic influences ultimately tear at the social fabric if left unchecked? Could the glorification of inflated egos and self-image erode our very humanity? I'm really curious what you think, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is a complex issue with many angles to consider. I appreciate you watching and engaging with such thought-provoking content. Be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care, my friend, and may wisdom guide your path.